Boom. There you go. What's up, people? Ruben Dominguez. That is Quinn Bishop. We're at Cactus Music, episode 10 of The Drop. Yeah. Let's go with that. Welcome to our little weekly discussion about what's new, what's hot, what just dropped. And as you can tell from our new backdrop here, let's talk about it, Quinn. Get us into this.
Well, you know what? I think we'll finish up with that.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Let's finish up with it. We'll work towards it. But yeah, we're sitting at George's house.
Right out in the field.
In the meadow.
Yeah.
He's accompanying us here. So,
yeah, everybody knows the Beatle.
Yeah, the quiet one.
The quiet one, yes. Silent but deadly. All right.
But, let's kick it up with the biggest hit record. One of the biggest debuts of the year, probably, as far as a new release. Her long-awaited second record, the Billie Eilish LP, Happier Than Ever. Gosh, I sure hope that's true, because she's more popular than you can even imagine.
And some of the tracks, some of the lyrics, a little bit of that kind of, I don't know if you'd call it chip on my shoulder kind of a thing, but I think it picks up where the first record left off. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. You're getting what you want.
Yeah, and there's
it's
growth
really
there.
smart.
There's
growth
sure. There, it's there's some kind of more some of the edges softened in places on there, but it's tough to be top of the heap. I mean, it takes a lot of shots.
What was cool, the documentary came out like kind of right in the middle of the We were still in the
I heard that's great. I did not see
in the pandemic. I haven't seen it either, but I mean,
she's cool.
Good for her, man.
There's a lot of people that are at the top commercially that I don't necessarily think the artistry is there. I think there's a lot of producers behind those records, and they're really producer records.
Yep.
That is not the case with her. She is definitely an artist, and I love it when it's so different that it really connects with people. And
and then when a record like that comes out, like our first record, and then months later you're hearing a lot of people that sound like Billie Eilish, that
I kind of call it the Madonna effect.
Yeah.
Because I always think that, and she had it multiple times in her career where she has a big record that doesn't sound like anything else on the radio, going all the way forward to like even Ray of Light.
Yeah.
There was nothing that sounded like Ray of Light before, and then boy, there was a bunch of records that sounded like that.
Sounded like it afterwards.
And it was the true from the get-go with like Borderline and Material Girl. And stuff like that. So,
trendsetter. All right, so here you go. Indie store exclusive colored vinyl, y'all. All right.
Yeah, while they last, they're going quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a couple of records that were kind of off track due to as far as delivery to stores due to the pandemic, and I want to mention those. This is a cool record. This Joyful Noise label. It's easy for me to say. Joyful Noise. They did this cool comp. I love this. It's called Safe and Sound, and it's their artists from their roster, their label, all contributed a track that's a home recording from
recording during the quarantine. Yeah, some cool stuff on here. Deerhoof does one. Jad Fair does one.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Jad Fair's
name.
And Kramer, right? Yeah. I haven't heard anything from Jad Fair in a long, long time, so I'm very curious of this one.
Yeah, probably the breakthrough artist is Kishibashi, who came out of Montreal.
Kishibashi and L1011.
Yeah, that's another cool band, cool instrumental band. But I kind of love that because it's there's a lot of quarantine records, and it's kind of too much. If everybody's got one, it's hard to plow through kind of the same concept. But this is I like how they did this. I think this is cool.
Cool stuff. There you go. All right.
This is the it actually
this one looks cool.
A month late. Yes, this is the Pride 2021. It's a charity record which contributes
to the Stonewall
Foundation
project.
Yeah. And this is from the Warner Music Group, and it's Lizzo, Cher, Sister Sledge, Candy Staten, Chaka Khan, Tina Turner, Charlie XCX, Dua Lipa. So you've got classic stuff.
Side A, Queer Club classics.
Yeah.
Side B, New Age anthems. Yeah.
It's a cool piece.
Yeah. Put this on. People are going to start moving in your living room for sure.
Yep.
And I say yes to anything that has Chaka Khan on it.
There you go. You got to say it twice.
Chaka Khan. Yeah.
As always, we're going to feature some jazz.
Let's do it.
Reissues. The Tone Poet series, Blue Note's super successful upgrades to their catalog.
There's stuff's been dropping that's just like
it's
so
and they're
cool.
not doing it all at once. So you have you actually have a chance to pick up the ones you want without having to just break the wallet. This is a Stone Cold classic, Sonny Clark, My Conception.
Yep.
And the names
Sonny Clark,
on there,
Paul Chambers, Art Blakely, Hank Mobley, Donald Byrd. I mean, come on, man. And I love, and especially in all these, you get all the like cool info on the back. You know,
how about
it's
the
like,
jacket? The jacket's like 1972,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Cardboard with the paste over.
It is substantial.
Yeah, if you're an old school
Blue Note,
record
man,
fan,
it's God, so good.
it speaks to you. And this is another one in that same series. One of McCoy Tyner, one of the greatest pianists ever. His album Expansions, which is a later work, but not a lesser work. And that's, I don't even think that made it out when they did the 75th. So they're picking some obvious stuff and some underappreciated classics that people need to reassess and reevaluate.
And it's like, we've talked about this before. It's like me and art. I love jazz. I don't not a deep, have this deep knowledge of it and stuff. I just know I love listening to it.
Yeah. And I'm always thankful when someone that does have a great
can really tell you about it. Yeah, you
like,
can just break it down. Yeah, sure.
Because I have like 10, 15 records that are like go-to records for me, and they're usually on the funky side.
Right.
Speaking on the funky side, this label MPS, which was a big late 60s and 70s label, their catalog is coming available on vinyl for the first time since the 70s, and they're all audiophile, analog remastered, so they sound great.
Yeah.
They're starting with some of the George Duke records, which comes out of the Zappa camp, and it's just super funky, and he is awesome. And
legendary.
Yeah.
So this was what year? Was this originally? Doesn't say. Super cool though, man. I mean, it's amazing, and I apologize that I'm reading it while you guys are going. What the heck? What are they doing? What do they talk? That's a good one, man. Love George Duke.
Yeah, and there's going to be more from that. That whole series is going to come out. They've done some Louis Armstrong, some Ella, and there's classic stuff, but they're going to really get into the funky stuff here.
I say yes,
man. Can you feel it? We're about to start rocking here.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
There's a disturbance in the force.
There is a disturbance in the force. New record from Yngwie Malmsteen. How about that guy?
If you haven't had enough neoclassical guitar shredding in your life, and you're like, when is Malmsteen putting out another record? There it is.
It's here. It is here.
There it is. Still going strong, man. Currently on tour with Mr. John 5. So if you want to get out there and get your metal shred fest done, and there's a bunch of music on here, right?
Well, it's the CD with a bunch of stuff for the fan. There's guitar picks in there. It tells you on the front.
Oh, nice.
You get
So it's a little Yngwie party pack.
3 guitar picks, 2 coasters, because you're going to spill your drink when you're listening.
Sure.
Some postcards and a sticker. So
yeah, and some Band-Aids if you cut yourself on the shredding that's happening.
Ruben did a great job on that portrait of him.
Thank you.
That painting.
Yeah.
That quick.
Yeah. It's just a couple of crayons.
All right. And
sure, why not? Let's keep the metal going.
They're back. Though many of us would dispute. Metal will just say the 80s hair rockin' thing. There's a new Night Ranger record.
So Quinn hands me this before we go on, and I'm like looking at it. I'm like, when was this recorded? I'm thinking it's like some concert release. Like, no, that's a new hit now. Yeah. All right. There are fans out there. We're not knocking it. I know. I have friends who love their 80s metal and love bands like that, and I have a couple from the old days that I liked. I was never a huge Night Ranger fan, although Brad Gillis,
and his time with Ozzy
had to replace Randy.
Yeah.
I mean, how about that gig?
Yeah.
Hey, can you learn this in a week? Sure.
Tough gig.
Sure.
I'm sure he was well compensated for his effort.
I'm sure. Well, or maybe not.
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
I don't know what Ozzy paid back then. I don't know what kind of a businessman he was.
And this record falls under the umbrella of there's no 401k in rock and roll. Like, this is it. You hit the road. You make a record. If you're fortunate enough to last long enough to have the 20 or 30 year retro effect, you go, man.
Yeah.
You go do it.
They'll be playing they'll be playing Kima sometime this week. No disrespect to my friends in Kima.
Yeah.
All right, let's rock.
This is a cool record, the Daptone label, which is Bosco Mann's label. He produced a portion of Amy Winehouse's breakthrough record with his band, the Dap Kings on it. And this is their sax player, has a brand new record, Coachman. And it's getting great reviews. I'm just going to zoom in because it's a CD. Cochamia? I don't even know how to say that. Volume 2, Bakasua.
Okay.
On the Daptone label. We've been playing this. This is a super funky, cool, great record. If you are trying to bridge that, we talked about this last time, if you're trying to bridge that classic soul with what is happening now, there's so much great soul music now.
This guy's
like, he's on all those records, man.
Hey, man, let's say hello to some of the people joining us. Ashante Murray, Vanessa Haynes says hello. We're saying hello back. Loretta Benavides Galavis, what's up? Hello. Linda Corpus says hello. William Shina, Tashina says hello. My homie Ruben Dominguez, nothing like old vinyl. And yeah, cool. All right, so we got some people in there.
Hey, thanks for
hello to everyone. Yeah, hello to everyone.
We appreciate it. We don't know what kind of job we're doing unless y'all tell us.
I think we're good. Let's keep rocking. All right.
This was originally a Record Store Day piece. As with a lot of Record Store Day pieces, they come out legit later, though. They did this as a bootleg before, so it had like a paste up cover, like literally a Xerox covered, copied cover. This is the real deal. Drive-by truckers at an in-store. Our friends Plan 9 Records, and this is that in-store. And it was a benefit. It was a benefit for the Harveys.
Friends of the band that were murdered during some crime spree. This family, I think it was like
murder.
Yeah, it was on New Year's Day or something like that. Yeah, yes. So they were friends. So they end up doing this benefit. There's one of the former members of Drive-By Patterson Hood kind of sums it up in this story on the back of the jacket here, and he's talking about how the band had been on the road. They were doing 200 gigs a year, and like it was almost. This is when like Drive-By Trucker starts to unravel. Yeah, but they came together. They just happened. They were asked to play this benefit gig, and most of the guys in the band would say this is probably one of the best live performances they ever did.
That's what everybody's saying, and that's my friend Jim Bland's store, great store.
Where's Plan 9 out of?
They are in. They've had a couple of stores over the years, but now they're in North Carolina.
Cool.
And I'll say just, one of the creepiest thing about that situation with the Harveys was that it was totally a After Dark, My Sweet, or what's the Capote? In Cold Blood.
In Cold Blood,
one of those things. They asked those guys how they picked that house. They said, we were just trying door handles, and theirs was on.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that so weird?
So random.
It's so crazy. Yeah, this is, and if you don't know, then some folks you may be familiar with Jason Isbell and the 400 unit, but this is where he came from.
He was in that band, and man, his songs in that group were great.
Yeah.
We're going to feature some new music on Matador. This is Dark Side, the album Spiral, not to be confused with The Dark Side, which are the guys like Spaceman 3 and like modern psych stuff. This is a modern electronic thing that's getting great reviews. That's something people want to listen to online. And, I think if you're mourning the Daft Punk closing up shop and going home, that's probably a good place to jump in.
And it's on Matador, which I never associated them with really like electronic. They have some of that.
Think, yeah.
Cool. That's a cool cover too. All right.
And I'm going to hit you. I don't know if you've heard of this band. They release an album every now and then.
Oh God! This has got to be.
There's a brand new King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album.
The most prolific band of the moment.
There is no doubt. I haven't even finished listening to the album 20 albums ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They have a bunch of fans. Let's just say
people obviously love them, right?
Yeah.
So
they're part of that modern psych thing. I think more guitar oriented than like a Tame Impala.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Cool band. Check them out. I don't know where to tell you where to start because they really.
There's nowhere. I don't know, but I respect the passion. I respect the passion. This is cool.
Yeah, so this is maybe people might remember this was actually a feature film that won a bunch of awards.
It's a great feature film.
LCD Sound System. When they decided to break up, they documented the breakup of that band with a film and culminated. End game is this concert
at Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden, and this is on vinyl for the first time.
Yeah. And this was supposed to be the goodbye. That's it.
Yeah.
LCD. We're done.
Mm-hmm. Not
it didn't last that long.
It's called the Who Effect, I think.
Yes. Anyway, if you've never seen these guys live, have you seen them live?
I have not.
I saw them at Austin City Limits.
Oh, there you go.
It was crazy.
Yeah, big big party band, right?
People went absolutely nuts when they hit the stage. Everything's on here too, so.
Yeah, they're not going to leave out the hits.
Yeah.
Final show.
So
play everything.
I have a dear friend, and we'll be at his house, or he'll be at my house, or we'll be somewhere hanging out with friends. And you want to see somebody, just a grown man, stand up and act like an absolute imbecile and start screaming at the top of his lungs, put on Daft Punk is playing at my house.
Oh, yeah, of course. You know, the other kooky thing about that band, they're the only band I can think of that did a album that is just for running, for exercising. You know, they've got that album that's got the times like 22.
I missed that.
Whatever. Yeah, it's just music for like busting it.
So, and when did that come out?
I mean, that's a solid 15 years ago.
So they predated the whole Peloton thing.
Yeah, they were your Peloton band. There you are.
That's all I got.
Hey, we got a cool reissue here. You know, this record has never been reissued. It's worth $300, $400, $500, depending on which version you got. They only made 3 of them.
If you have the original.
If you have the original.
Right.
They only made 300 of them to begin with. And REM has repressed their first ever 7-inch single that was on the self-released on the Hidden label. That's the Radio Free Europe single that launched their career.
And in case you're wondering, the first song is Radio Free Europe.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, yeah. Produced by Mitch Easter.
Mm-hmm. And
was he Tractor or Pylon? What was
he's the Let's Active guy.
Let's Active, right?
But
okay.
He produced a ton of records.
Yeah. So cool.
They were in Athens and just drove up the road to.
And in case you were wondering, the REM PO box is right on there if you just want to send a check. Yeah. And they'll send you the cassette. Man, God, so cool.
Yeah, and that is that. You hear those 2 tracks from that single or their first 4-song EP, man, it reminds you what made them like really different. Like metronomic rhythm section.
I met Michael Stipe when they did the Numbers show.
Oh yeah, I would say
they did a thing at Rice Radio ahead of time. So we went down to Rice and basically followed them back to the gig, and they were super cool. Talked to Peter a little bit, and then I was working for a concert promoting company. We're not naming names, but
I know the one.
So I think it was the Orange, right, at the Summit. So while I was on the roster to work that day, but there was actually nothing for me to do at all. So I remember sitting out in the Summit, the lights are on, and watching them sound check.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was insane.
You get into the sound check. That's always
yeah. It was they were really, really nice to everybody there. They're cool. They're regular guys. They were so cool. And that record was enormous.
Heck yeah. They're one of those cool bands that like they incubated. You know, every record sold twice as much than the previous one, and at this, you know, across like 5 records, and then it just hockey stick. It just went through the roof. Yeah. This is not a new record, but this is a record that has been unavailable.
And I am glad it's in the box.
For you know, we haven't been able to get it for 2 years or more.
Yeah.
And this is such a cool band. Yeah. It's such an influential band. They get a real upbeat name.
The band is called Death. 4 brothers from Detroit. Chicago. Okay, so this is 1975. There's very serious discussion whether or not this was the first punk. Yeah. Real.
And all the New York guys get all the credit for that, right? They all do.
Yeah.
New York,
not 4 black guys, 4 black brothers from Chicago. Yeah.
And really, I mean, I did not know this record. I remember when Drag City reissued it in the early aughts, but that documentary.
The documentary I was about to say, that just exploded. Everybody, this disappeared. Whatever copies there were of this were gone.
And people flipped out on it because it really is, you can kind of call it, for, pun intended, dead art. It's great art that has just fallen out and never found an audience. And then someone discovers it. Yeah. And there you go. And they're,
so art way ahead of their.
Absolutely. And people should seek out this documentary because
it's fantastic.
If you think.
What is it? The band? A band called Death. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you think that the factors why a record sells or whether they're good or not, that is almost never the case. Because these guys made an unbelievable record, and it just
recorded in Detroit. That's why I had that stuck in my head.
Yeah, there you go.
So David Hackney guitars, Bobby Hackney bass vocals. they have those old pictures of them, like all the equipment set up in their bedroom. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, and so the reason to talk about this record is Black Pumas they have a huge hit right now.
Yeah.
With that Colors.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah. So there you are.
Yeah. So they just did they posted it, I guess, last night. You might have seen that other thing on YouTube, you know, where they talk about albums, you know, what's in my bag.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they did one of those.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna finish with probably one of the most important reissues of the year, one of the greatest solo records ever by anybody. You know, all the pent up frustration of not being able to only sneak one song or two on a Beatles record.
Sure.
Boy, it all came together on this is the 50th anniversary of George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. And, they went all in. His son, Donnie, pulled all the stuff out, because it's a very insular existence in that, he has all his tapes. George had his home studio, so I don't think anybody really knew all the material that was out there, but
it'd take an hour just to read all these songs out loud.
Yeah, totally. And this is the era where
CD booklet in here.
CD, that's the 5-disc set.
There's a CD
5 LP set. There's an 8 LP set. There's a 3 CD set. The original 2 CD set.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the Coca-Cola model. You can buy a 12-ounce can, 16-ounce can.
Kind of like what they did with Wallflowers, with Petty and Wallflowers.
Exactly.
They came out in all the different.
Exactly. So you can buy this Mammer Jammer.
Weighs what, 20 pounds?
It weighs a lot, and this is I think 8 LPs, more than that, 10 LPs, with a hardbound book.
I think that is.
And for people that might not be all that familiar with this record, this is the early 70s, and the magic of the LP is that back in those days they only released a single or two from an album.
Right.
It wasn't like we were talking about MTV, where that really rolled up into the era where if you had a new video, you might have 5 or 6 or 7 singles from an album like Michael Jackson or Bruce Springsteen. This is when they just put out a single or two from the record, and obviously My Sweet Lord and Martin Scorsese's favorite tune that's in like 5 films. Spacing out. What Is Life?
Right.
With that great guitar lick. With but that is only the tip of the iceberg because there is so much great music on this.
And a lot of people, and so it's basically Harrison able to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And
pulling in
lyrically,
the
musically,
Stable of Artists, Badfinger all over this thing.
I think Clapton's on a few tracks.
Yeah, and Phil Spector produced it. I mean, it's
now it's $200, but for that Beatles fan, or if you are that Beatles fan or Harrison fan or whatever, you get your money's worth.
Or if you're just looking to jump off and pick up the 2-disc thing, it sounds better than it's ever sounded. They went back to the original master tapes, and you see these artists that are preserving things for posterity. They know that this is like the last, and of course George's passed, but you're seeing a lot of estates make the music sound using the best technology to make it sound as good as it can, because this is how it's going to be for a long time.
That's awesome, man. That was a basket full of stuff there.
Man, we had some good stuff. And Summer's Use is light, but
Summer's Use is not. And in fact, I love the fact I got here earlier and there's somebody coming in with a dolly with just boxes of releases. I'm like, that's good stuff. All right, so before we let everybody go, so usually we are on Thursdays at 12:30. You catch the drop then, but we had to do a Wednesday today because you're out of town. Mm-hmm. And what are we doing next week? Because is it Wednesday again, or are you gone the whole week?
Yeah, I'm out all week.
We'll figure it out.
We're gonna figure something.
We may have to Zoom him in from the French Riviera, where he'll be vacationing on a yacht with his family.
Yeah.
So here, you take this.
Just gotta get that yacht, and I'm off.
All right, guys, we're jumping off. Follow us on the show socials. Share the video. Obviously, we'll be making it available. It'll live somewhere in the Fox universe, I'm sure. You can find it on the YouTube, on the Facebook. Hit the share button. What's the Instagram for you guys?
We're at Cactus Music.
At Cactus Music. Guys, we'll see you next time. That does it for us. Bye-bye. All right. I get to sign us off. How about that? Yeah, I'm great at what does this button do? What do you think this button does right here?